Welcome to our podcast, Learn Biblical Greek, brought to you by Dr. William Stewart, the co-founder of Teleios. This captivating podcast teaches you biblical Greek through a verse-by-verse study of the book of Ephesians, interjecting Greek grammar, Greek word meanings, and vital theology concepts. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey. Your study will be more effective if you use the Greek text with the Bible word codes, either on the eSword download or Bible Hub website. These links are on our podcast website at www.teleiosresearch.com.
Hi, I'm William Stewart, co-founder of Teleios. Welcome back to our podcast on learning biblical Greek. We are in Ephesians 5, the marriage section, an amazing section. We have an outstanding verse for you today, particularly all you guys, as we're in the husband section. And we've just finished speaking about how the man loves his wife with a giving love as Christ loved the church, gave himself for her. And we apply that, I think, by, as Christ will present the church pure and holy before God by his blood and sacrificing himself for us and resurrecting. So we, in our Christian walk, do everything we can to make our wife a pure and godly disciple of Christ. That brings us to verse 28. So let's go to the text. Otos, have that Greek text open, and thus, and it's non-declinable and really always means thus in this manner, commonly used conjunction. Remember, conjunctions are important in biblical Greek because it gives direction to the very long run-on sentences in Greek. They didn't have punctuation. Ophilusin, so ophilo, ought, common verb. There's no prefix, there's no augment. We see that the root is ophil, and it's actually, ophilo or ophileo in the lexicon. The ending for the third person plural is usin, and that OU tells us it's in the present tense. But the connecting vowel is really part of the OU ending, giving us the number and the person. So it is thus they ought to, in the present active indicative. OI is, of course, the article in the nominative, not having a T in front in the masculine plural. Androus, men. So this is a third declension ending, ES. It doesn't match the OI. As a general rule, makes it third declension. It's from ANR, A-N, A to R. It changes in the other cases for pronunciation reasons. So the ES is the plural, nominative ending in the third declension. So we have in English, the men, thus the men ought. Okay, and I think the verb is going before the subject here as emphasis, and some people would, maybe many people would argue this. That's where the verb normally belongs, but then others would say the verb in biblical Greek naturally belongs after the subject. Agapin, this is agapao, to love. This is the giving, godlike love that we do out of obedience, 1 John 2 and 3, and out of knowledge, Philippians 1:9. It's love for the other person. It is an infinitive present. So how do we get this? Well, remember, agabao, not easy for me to say, is a contract verb where the root ends in an A. So you add the infinitive ending, E-I-N. E contracts with A to A. I just disappears. Why does the I disappear? It's Greek. We don't know. Tas yalphton gonakos. So tas is a noun, article. AS ending is the plural accusative feminine. It matches, in this case, a third declension noun, gune, so it's a guni, and the as ending is also, for the third declension, the the plural accusative. In between this, and again, this shows the flexibility of Greek wording, is ialpton. So the article is separated from the noun, and this you have to look for it. It happens, so you sort of determine it by the general same location, but also the similar endings. The omega n, of course, is a genitive plural, and in any gender and declension, and it's themselves, their own wives. So their own wives, os as, ta, ialpton, somata. Okay, so os is always as, sort of a cognate there. Again, the same structure. We have the separation of the noun and the article. But in this case, somat is a neuter. So the accusative plural ending is an a, both for the article ta and somata. So remember, this is somat is the root ending in a, their declension. So you just add the a, where the dictionary form is sama without the t, because you can't end a word in Greek with a t. So ialpton again is the genitive plural. O agapo. So here we have a verb form of agapao again, that omega n. In a verb is really always a participle masculine nominative singular. That article in front. Remember, a participle, sort of half adjective, half verb. I would translate this typically, he who is loving, in this present active participle. Then we have the same structure again with himself, the reflexive. Tin ialptu gnaka, but it changes to the singular. So tin is the accusative singular, feminine. Again, yune, gnaka, is the third declension. In this case, it's an a on the end of the k, and taking a different form outside the nominative form of woman. Ialpton, ialptu is that ou is the masculine genitive singular, again referring back to an individual person, he who is loving, in this case the husband. And then the ialpton, after Gadaka, takes the accusative singular, agapa, loves himself. Now again, agape being agapao, a contract verb, you add the ei ending. That would be normally the third person singular for the present tense, as this verb is a present tense. There's no augment. And that, again, contracts, much like the infinitive. So the E contracts into the A. We have AI, and I just drops off. So agapa, contract verb, loves himself. So what do we have? So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife loves himself. So what a great verse. What does this mean? Well, as we present our wife holy, making her really our greatest disciple, that she would be abundantly fruitful in God, and I think in every area of life. As we love her, she responds and loves back. So for those guys, who say, okay, I'm going to take everything I can from my wife and she's going to give to me, ultimately you'll just suck her dry, and she'll, give up, be discouraged, or leave often. However, biblically, our goal is to build into our wife. She responds to that and gives back. It makes us better. So if we want to love ourselves and help ourselves, we love our wives. I know from my own darling wife, Jeanette, I try my best to give in to her, and she is my best disciple. And I've seen God impact her from my efforts. Uh, However, what she gives back to me, I always tell her, is about 5 times more than what I do for her. I can't keep up with her. She's the abundance is just amazing that I feel in my life in every area, spiritually, professionally, as a friend, every area. Okay, great verse, very wise. We'll continue with the marriage passage next time. Thanks for joining me today. Until then.